desert attack sequence, it really bonded everybody really fast.
And what was interesting is after that experience, coming back to New Orleans to shoot the rest of the movie, a lot of the Joes, the young Joes who died in the desert, then left us. So we could actually feel the impact of this sort of young energy going away, and all these people that we just bonded with going away, and then us having to sort of now make another movie with it. So as soon as we started shooting things with Flint, Jay, and Roadblock, you could tell that they were affected by all these people they just met leaving.
We actually created 2 desert areas, but because we could mold the sand, we created that area where the explosions were and the aftermath, which was literally right next door. You can't see it in the movie, but it's the same look, but a different place, so that we could go back and forth. We only had a certain amount of days to go back and forth and shoot the aftermath, shoot the explosions at night, shoot the aftermath, shoot the explosion at night.
I really wanted to make sure it felt like another country. It was very important to try and, we were in actually a sand pit in the middle of the woods, so it was trying to shoot away from the trees as much as possible to make you feel like you're in that part of the world, which is very rocky and mountainous. Most movie resolutions is to paint it and blacken it and get junk and things, but we really wanted a real burnt, destroyed look. I've got a lot of friends that are in the army and things, so I didn't want them to watch it and go, this doesn't look real.
There's nothing here, or here, or here, or here, or here, or here. Nothing here. Don't tell me what we need to do.
Even as an actor, I have to tell you, you see that set, and it was so easy to be that emotional because it felt so real. Smelling it, seeing it, you look around, there's dead bodies, it's like, and also all the developing we'd already had of the characters and the friendships we have offset. Thinking about those characters lying there was really, really emotional.
Whoever did this, hey, we'll be back. We need to move. Call it.
We go into some pretty deeply emotional territory as a result of being able to explore what's it like to go out under fire, what's it like to lose people, what's it like to be betrayed. Sadly, we know what people's sacrifice is in our world, in the real world, and we were trying to give some acknowledgement to that.
The character of Joe Colton, he wasn't in the original drafts, but it became clear to us that the opportunity to create the iconic Joe figure, Joe Colton, the founder of the G I Joes, was so enticing that we decided to do it.
Now, who to cast as Joe Colton, the one who would embody the soul and spirit of the G I Joe? Only one person came to mind, and that was Bruce Willis. Never thought in a million years that he would actually do it.
Merry Christmas.
Makes you wonder about your neighbors.
I'm not sure I would say that I'm doing it because of the action in it, but more because of the G I Joe of it all. I still remember playing with G I Joes all the time. And now to be a grown man who could play General Joe Colton really is an honor for me. It doesn't seem like I'm playing a character. It feels like somebody that I know. And I felt like I had to live up to it and live up to, General Joe Colton.
You have Dwayne Johnson on one side of the room, Bruce Willis on the other side, and Snake Eyes right next. With these giant real guns. I wanted to go back to my 12-year-old self and be like, yo, look what you're doing. This is crazy.
Open up that couch. We all grew up watching Bruce and do many, many films. That was a good time to actually get to go toe-to-toe with that guy and have some. That was very surreal. For me, that was probably the most surreal to do scenes with Bruce was, you have surreal moments. It's John McClane.
I've known Bruce for some time, and we've been buddies, so I was just over the moon when I found out that he was going to be in this.
When you see this guy in the movie, you can't help but think, wow, this guy really is the creator of G I Joe. And it's believable, it makes sense because, that's what kind of personality
Bruce Willis brings to the table.
Audiences love him around the world, and I think it was a great addition, but it also helped us to really get across for the first time who G I Joe was, who Joe Colton was.
What people forget is there's sort of two generations of Joe fans. There's the pre-1980 generation and the post-1980 generation, really. And one is this sort of, this fantasy thing that which we are doing, and the other is a basic soldier in green.
G I Joe was introduced to the public in 1964. Prior to that, it was an idea that was brought to Hasbro. The idea was very simple: produce a fully posable man of action for kids. Some might call G I Joe a doll, but at the time it was very important that the word doll wasn't used. At the time, there was nothing like G I Joe for boys on the shelves. He was marketed as an action figure, and thus the legend was born. G I Joe was the very first action figure.
The original Joe as a concept is iconic. Bruce is iconic in an action thing. You put the two of them together, and for all those fans, like my generation and generations older than me, we grew up with that guy. So for them, Joe's in this movie, you know. Who's Joe? Bruce Willis.
He added a completely new energy to the set, and we had so much fun. I was bummed he was only here for a week.
We had more of him in the movie than the time we had to shoot with him. So it was just like constantly going, constantly. But Bruce is very accurate, obviously, at his acting. So we didn't take many takes to get what we needed, unless he wanted to try some things with it, which was always fun to see him try some jokes.
You all right?
Yeah. You all right?
My cholesterol's a little high.